you say, Greg. It's over 2 years, in fact, 861 days since the death of the FWA.
Who's counting, Dave? Clearly you. Do you have nothing better to do with your time? It's the first time I've had to work with you, and I'm already slightly concerned about the fact that you clearly spend far too much time in your bedroom, but not doing the sort of things that the truth does, if you understand what I'm saying.
Nothing wrong with doing your homework for a show. Maybe you could learn something from that instead of trying to mooch off of my commentary notes here.
Let's call the match, Mr. Bradshaw. That's what you paid for. There's a tag. That's what you call a tag. A beautiful tag by Joey Hayes. And now it's the juice, CJ Banks.
Sorry, what differentiates that as a beautiful tag?
Because it was crisp. It was crisp, it was beautiful. He held his hand out and he made a lovely sound. And that's what we like to see from tags in tag team wrestling. Tag team wrestling is coming back, and the FWA is bringing it back. And these are two of the greatest teams, without a doubt, in British wrestling right now. You know, I'll give the leaders of the new school their due. I have heard all about them. Maybe I was being a little facetious before. I know Zack Sabre Jr. and Marty Scurll are the current IPW Tag Team Champions, and I know they're very capable, but they're just not on the same level as my two boys from the Northwest.
Well, you say these are two of the most accomplished teams in wrestling today, Greg, but, I mean, as far as I'm aware, this is the first time Joey and CJ, the Juice, have ever even combined. This is their first outing as a tag team unit. Yeah, but they know each other very well. They've worked together in a lot of promotions up in the Northwest. And they both have very similar, like you said, similar outlooks on life, but also similar technical skills, and you're seeing that now. Beautiful surfboard. Oh, look at that, a surfboard. Oh, hang on. Sabre rolls over, he's got the shoulders down, and just a two. First near fall of the match.
The Juice is toying with him. See, the Juice has had a Mohican haircut for the occasion as well, which I always like to see. It'll make him more aerodynamic in the ring.
I'll take your word for it. Sabre with the snapmare. Wait a second, crucifix pin.
Banks. There you go.
Just two again.
I did actually have a bit of a strategy session with these boys earlier. You know, I still have the old managerial urge now and again, and some of the young lads from the Northwest, they see me as something of a father figure, you know, Dave. And there are weaknesses in the leaders of the new school, and one of them is the fact that they pander to the sheep in Broxbourne far too much, just like they're doing now.
You know, the leaders of the new school not too long ago used to be booed by the crowd like Banks and Hayes are being tonight, but in recent months, these two young men, Marty Scurll and Zack Sabre Jr., they seem to have formed a bond with the fans, and they're one of the most popular teams in recent memory now.
I take exception to being called, by association, a Northern Monkey, as does Joey Hayes, as does the Juice CJ Banks.
Now, these people have paid their money, they can call you what they like. I'm going to be calling you what I like.
You need to know your place, son. Listen, I realise that you're new here, but in the FWA, we do things differently, generally my way.
Yeah, look where that got him. Anyway, rear waist up by Scurll. Juice counters. Scurll rolling through. Great amateur skills from this young man from Cambridgeshire. Rolls over and there's a side headlock. Look at that. Talk about making a statement.
These are all too showy moves, though. They're not actually doing anything. There's no sort of... I don't see any fluidity or strategy here from the leaders of the new school.
Admittedly, they're not going to win the match, but you've got to say, you know, this is kind of showing these kind of skills, just dominating, not letting Juice up for a second. It must be giving some kind of mental advantage to Scurll here. Well, no, all it's doing is he's getting distracted. He's looking out at the FWA fans. He's looking out at the guys who've come down to Broxbourne Civic Hall on this auspicious day, the return of the FWA, and that just allowed CJ Banks to reverse it quite beautifully. Oh. What's this now? Scurll got that arm hooked. The crowd getting behind the leaders of the new school. Scurll has Banks in a precarious position. Well, that could break an arm right there. Now you'll see something. Joey Hayes, without a doubt, one of the best wrestlers in the UK today. He was voted in the top 5 in the UK Fan Forum vote, the UKFF 50, the annual chart where the fans decide who are the best in the country, and Joey Hayes was in the top 5. And I'll tell you something, at only 23 years of age, Joey Hayes has got the world at his feet. And you'll see it right now as he dominates Marty Scurll. He started his career up in the Northwest, where he went unbeaten for 20 months in Garage Pro Wrestling, GPW up there. Scurll takes him down. Scurll not remotely intimidated, and Scurll goes for the pin. And again, another attempt at a near fall. Oh, and Hayes is delighted with himself. My goodness. That's it, cover up that beautiful face. Oh, my goodness! That was uncalled for. Grief, you can hear that from here. Here we go, this is Scurll's variation on the figure 4 leg lock. Obviously, this is a figure 4 arm lock. How many hours did you swat up in your library to work that one out, Dave? I thought that was fairly self-evident.
Sabre! Oh, a kick to the side of the head. Did you see Joey Hayes' neck just snap to the left? Lateral press from Sabre, and Hayes able to kick out once more.
You know, the leaders of the new school, you know, they're new to the FWA. You know, they weren't around during the FWA's peak years, and I think that means they have plenty to prove to me this evening. And I have to admit, they're growing on me, Dave. They're showing some good double team moves here. Whether it'll be enough to win, whether they have the ruthlessness that's required to score a victory, that remains to be seen.
Wait a second, they've rolled through here. Look at this, a double Boston Crab on Joey Hayes. Hayes may have to tap here.
Surely that's illegal, though. 2 against 1. That wouldn't score a submission. The referee should be getting, and in fact he has done. I don't often agree with Andy Quilden on everything, but he did the right thing getting Zack Sabre Jr. out of the ring.
Hayes counters the Irish whip. Oh, and there's another cheap shot from Banks. Banks holds on. Oh, and hang on. A backbreaker from Hayes. Hayes with the cover. Leg is hooked. And Skirl still able to kick out. I tell you, both of these teams so desperately want to win the first match in the new era of the FWA.
And here is the aerodynamic, serious Juice CJ Banks.
That's the Mohawk, right? That's what makes him aerodynamic.
He's the first of the Mohicans. That's how good he is.
Well, how long did that one take you? Crikey.
Off the top of my head, Dave.
Crowd getting behind Marty Skirl.
I thought for 1 second the crowd were chanting Muppet. You know, the fans up north chant Muppet at the Juice CJ Banks. That is absolutely disgraceful.
Again, based on what I saw of this man in the locker room earlier today, I can quite understand why.
He looks nothing like a Muppet. He looks like the Dynamite Kid, if anything. Now, would you, listen, if you saw the Dynamite Kid, Dave, would you call him a Muppet? I don't think so.
Certainly not in his prime. Well, probably not now, because at least he was a talented, well-respected wrestler. Banks may be talented, but he's certainly not respected. Wait a second, Hayes has Skirl up on and drops him down. Brutal offense from Hayes. And
love a short clothesline. Beautiful.
Skirl kicks out once more.
Crowd's gone quiet here in Broxbourne, haven't they? They're darlings, the leaders of the new school, not having it their own way.
Well, you know, that's what Hayes and Banks need to do. They need to slow the pace down, take the leaders out, wear them down so they can take the crowd out of the game as well. That's certainly their strategy. Oh, hang on a second. Crucifix pin, and all. Skirl again. Banks goes for the clothesline, Skirl up high. Wait a second, what's this? Sabre trying to get behind Skirl.
This is a crucial point in the match now.
Yeah,
we're over the 10-minute mark. This is where conditioning, stamina, desire comes into play. Who's got it?
Wait a second, Sabre up high. Sabre Jr. with a double missile drop kick. And there's those martial arts kicks. One of the toughest kickers in British wrestling is Sabre Jr. Oh, he's dropped on his face. Banks goes for the pin. Sabre able once more to get away.
Now watch this snap suplex here, Dave Bradshaw. That was perfectly executed. Call that one.
No wasted motion at all. Banks goes for that pin.
Every time the leaders get on top, NX seem to have the answer. Joey Hayes tagging back in now. NX.
Is that their cool, like,
no,
short name?
It's short for Northern Exposure. It's an abbreviation, Dave. You do know what abbreviation means, don't you?
Yes, I know what an abbreviation means, but I don't know. In the dictionaries I've got, exposure starts with an E.
You know, of course, that I was voted the greatest vocabularian in the FWA 4 years running during the peak years.
Yeah, strange no one else got a voting form. Seemed to only be delivered to your house. So I guess at least it was unanimous. Anyway, Banks with a double axe handle to the skull of Sabre Jr. Sabre Jr. trained at NWA UK Hammerlock. Won the Rising Star Award at the 2008 Indie Awards.
Did you know, Dave Bradshaw, here's a stat for you, did you know that Zack Sabre Jr. and Marty Skirl's birthdays are 2 days apart?
I did know that.
Oh.
Just recently, this last week.
I don't believe you.
I tell you, they turned 22 and 21 respectively, both still very early in their careers.
Have you got a little black book or something? Where do you get this stuff from? I mean, what kind of a sado knows that Joey Hayes was unbeaten for, what was it, 40 months
20 months.
Whatever.
Quite a famous unbeaten
where do you get
streak
this stuff from?
in the Northwest, which you seem to love so much. Hayes, look at this double team. Oh, drops the elbow.
That was almost a variation of the old demolition decapitation move there. Oh, I felt sure that was going to be the end of Zack Sabre Jr. But this guy who wrestled American Dragon Bryan Danielson for how many minutes, Dave? Surely you know that, how many minutes he wrestled him for?
We'll
you don't know, do you?
In a second, but
you don't know, do you?
Oh yeah, well, you try and distract me from the fact that Banks is putting the boot in illegally to Zack Sabre Jr.
Listen, it doesn't matter whether I'm distracting you, you're not Andy Quilden. The referee's job to check for any shenanigans going on, Dave. It's your job to come up with the stats. So, I was only asking you.
I thought your job was to be an objective broadcast journalist, but...
Without a doubt, the most objective one there is. That's why they call me the truth. Because you get the whole and nothing but, as everybody knows. Everybody who followed the FWA for years, when I was the manager of the family, and, I kind of feel empathy for Northern Exposure, because they're receiving the same kind of lack of respect from these Broxbourne fans that I had to endure for years, Bradshaw.
I'm just sort of marvelling at the fact that you think everyone thinks you're a respected journalist or a respected anything in the FWA after your history, but...
Another beautiful tag. Quality tag. Beautifully executed.
Was a blind tag, and Hayes with the kick to the back of the head.
I think you need to be giving more praise to these tags.
Was that a crisp tag as well?
It was as crisp as a packet of Quavers, Mr. Bradshaw. I was very, very impressed. And that's a, picture-perfect European uppercut there from Joey Hayes. You'll notice...
I will grant you, I'm impressed with the tag team ability of the way these two are gelling as a unit, Hayes and Banks. I mean, both are accomplished tag wrestlers, but as I said at the start, neither tagged together before. But both held titles in other British promotions.
Yes, that's true. And I'm also impressed, Dave, with the fact that the match is now getting on towards 15 minutes, probably a little bit longer. And Joey Hayes, who has the abdomen of a Greek god, he's barely broken sweat. And the Juice, who is similarly endowed in the physical department.
I don't want to know how Banks is physically endowed.
He's pouring it on, Dave. He's pouring on the punishment on Zack Sabre Jr.
I don't have. Banks went to the corner, nobody home, and an enziguri off the top from Sabre Jr. Both men are down, and you've got to think at this point, Greg, whoever is the first to make the tag will be the firm favourites to win this match.
I am getting more and more impressed with Zack Sabre Jr. I have not seen much of him, but that kid, he took a beating there for a good few minutes, and he pulled out a spectacular top rope enziguri, and I think CJ Banks is dazed. He needs to tag Joey, and there it is.
But in comes Skull as well. Hayes and Skull. Skull with the super kick, and Skull will send Hayes to the ropes. Skull with the boot. It looks like Skull has Hayes' number here. Scoops him up and down. What's this? Skull. A double knee drop. And he's got the leg all. They're getting closer. They are getting closer at these near falls. Skull, boot to the face from Hayes. Skull picks him up. There's a graduation! Marty Skull's trademark move. Both legs hooked.
Banks makes the save, and not a moment too soon. Tag team wrestling, British style in the FWA, but also progressive, modern, fast. You are seeing the most fantastic action anywhere in the UK, possibly the world, Dave Bradshaw.
Certainly the FWA's aim is to cross plenty of new frontiers. Oh, wait a second! Skull went for a second Scurly-Whirly and a powerbomb from Banks.
The Scurly-Whirly has just well and truly melted.
Sit-out slam from Hayes. Oh no, I thought that would be all.
Like it's all squishy in your pocket, when you sit down. That was the wrestling version of squashing the Scurly-Whirly.
Absolutely insane. Well, you saw Hayes just kneeing.
Now this is called the CJ Banks trademark frog splash. Oh, nobody there. Marty Skrull moving out of the way. Joey's there. Joey's got him.
Skrull to the ropes. In comes Sabre Jr. And, oh, wait a second, Skull. Oh, Skull landed on his feet. Skull landed on his feet on the apron.
Great athleticism from both men, and now we're left with Zack Sabre Jr. and CJ Banks.
There's a kick. And another look at those kicks.
As the late great Brian Moore once said, it's up for grabs now. Who has got what it takes to score the win?
Wait a second, cross arm breaker from Sabre. If he can unlink those arms of Banks.
CJ Banks is
tap.
He's near the ropes though. He's near the ropes. And just in the nick of time, Joey Hayes makes the save.
I tell you, Banks was clinging on for dear life. If those hands had become unhooked and that elbow became hyperextended, it would have been game over. Skull and Hayes is becoming a slugfest now.
So as tiredness sets in, there is going to be a mistake.
Wait a
one
second.
person is going to make one mistake.
Wait a second. Oh, see you later. The see you later from the leaders. 2 and 3. That's all.
No.
That's all. Leaders win. Leaders win.
The winners of the match.
You share the passion, you share the excitement, you share the yearning to participate, but you don't share the skills or experience. All the wrestlers you see here are highly trained athletes. You are not. Please do not try this at home.